I'm making this video here with this title for a game that I didn't even watch 100% of because yesterday it was Barca versus Real Sociedad in La Liga away at Anoeta, and this game started an hour after the AFCON final. So I really had the AFCON on my main screen and I had this Barca game on a smaller screen on the side. So I was slightly paying a bit more attention to the AFCON final, but both games were, of course, unbelievable. Both games had crazy things occur in them. But obviously, we're here to talk about Barcelona and what I'm showing you here in terms of stats. What I'm gonna say does not even do justice to this game. The highlights that I saw after the game did not do justice to this game. So if we just start with the stats, so of course the game ended 2-1 to Real Sociedad, and I mean Barca now are only 1 point ahead of Madrid in La Liga, which is a shame, really, considering the overall form of the teams, both teams this season. So yeah, it was always going to be a tough game away at Sociedad for Barcelona, but they should have won, and they should have definitely won once you see what the stats are. So if we start with just the stats, 72% possession for Barca to 28, and three big chances to seven, and one XG for Real Sociedad, and you round it to four for Barcelona. And that 3.68 XG, I think it's too low. And not only that, it's undermined because there were so many offside chances that Barca had marginally that the shots that came off of those chances from the offside don't actually get added into the XG. So the amount of chances that Barca created in this game, you can't even, I don't even think you can put a number to it because I can't believe, like you can say, oh, Barca should have won 4-1, 4-0, 3-2. Barca could have won anything. No. Barca should have genuinely had at least 6 goals in this game. At least 6 goals. And when I say, like in the title, when I say this is one of the most unbelievable games that I've seen, in terms of the ball not wanting to go into the net, this is definitely up there. I mean, like, we know for years how Anoeta has been one of these stadiums that's like, you know, a big issue for Barcelona, and they had a very long period where Barca didn't win there, even in the prime of their club. And then, of course, that curse broke in 2018. Barca have had some decent, form there going away, but now again this game, I mean, the Anoeta, the way the ball was not going in the net, whether it was because of slight offsides that weren't even offside, which we'll get to that. The post, the crossbar, Ramiro crazy saves. I mean, it looked like Anoeta is hellspawn. Like there had to be the demonic dimension at work in this game to make sure Barca don't score. Because I literally can't say it enough. I cannot believe the ball didn't go into the net for Barcelona to actually, enough to win this game. Performance wise from players, this was Yamal's probably best performance this season, or just best La Liga performance this season, where he was creating so many chances. He had the assist. He had 11 out of 14 dribbles, 3 big chances created, 7 key passes. He had 15 ground duels won. I mean, he had a very good performance, and you could say that, of course, to an extent, Barca should be finishing more chances. I mean, of course, Dani Olmo had a lot of chances he should have scored. Yamal had some chances he could have scored. Lewandowski had some chances he could have scored. There was a lot of chances that Barca could have scored in this game that they didn't, of course. But since Hansi Flick took over Barcelona, obviously the proof is in the pudding that finishing, goal scoring isn't really Barca's main issue right now. Of course, in this game, finishing was the issue in this particular game, but it's not the main issue that this team is facing right now. The main issue that this team is facing is in the defense. Now, it is a combination of, the defensive structure, tactically, what Flick wants to do with the defense, and it is a combination of that with the personnel, whether it be depth-wise, whether it be, the starting players-wise. It's a combination of both, and more we see that, it is edging a bit more, leaning a bit more to it being a personnel issue rather than solely a tactical issue. But what I want to say is Koundé is shocking. Koundé is shocking, bro. Like, he is shocking. He is shocking going forward because he's not really a fullback that is exceptional going forward. Um, just very poor defensively, very asleep defensively. So many times in virtually every game, Kunde just doesn't know where he doesn't know if he's on Earth or not. So many times, just people running in behind him. He doesn't know where he's at. He's in no man's land. So many times he gets beaten. There was a moment in the game in the second half, I think it was, or the first half, where Gonzalo Guedes was through on net. Barca and Kunde were lucky that he slipped. He slipped, got up, and still got past Kunde and still got a shot off. So Kunde is just so poor for so long now, and it's across the whole board, defensively, in the build-up, just in possession in general. Um, Going forward, just so poor. And even for example, like Kubarsi, you have to cut Kubarsi some slack. He is a 18-year-old center back who is basically the leader of this back line, and he doesn't get too much rest. And the Barca does play an aggressive high line, so it is hard to manage that consistently over numerous, I guess seasons at that age. But he is he has been exposed a little bit defensively, across really the last year, um, and really is looking the same as it has been. Of course, he looked unbelievable defensively in a normal defensive structure under Javi, but for the past year, it's been a bit, exposing. But you have to cut him some slack in comparison to Kunde because of the circumstances. Eric Garcia didn't have a too good of a game overall, but he is somebody that is very reliable for this team, so you can't say much because he's proved what he can be and what he has been for this team. Balde is another one. Balde is another one because he peaked, of course, under Javi in 2022, 2023. Of course, he has these hamstring injuries every once in a while where he's out for a few weeks or maybe a month or two. But overall, he really has not progressed since that season. Defensively, he's not progressed since that season. If anything, I think his ball carrying has, his dribbling up from the back has regressed. His final ball is, basically shocking. Like, he really has one good ball into the box, one good cross every 6 months. One. And if you compare somebody like Jordi Alba to what the former Barca left back did, Balde to Jordi Alba, if you compare him, Jordi Alba numerous times a game makes just so many incisive, dangerous crosses or driven passes in for a shot to be taken, and I never see that from Balde. When he's in isolation in a one-on-one Balde, high up on the pitch against a defender, he only has really one move to get past him, and that's hit the ball forward and run past him because he's quick. So I haven't seen Balde really improve overall for numerous seasons now, and he's not as big of an issue, especially defensively, as Kunde is, but he definitely has to improve overall because people look at these games like the Clasico that Barca won and say, "Oh, Barca beat Real Madrid in the Clasico final, and Barca's elite." Of course, Barca had a good game that game, but it's not like Madrid are good or anything right now. And this Barca team, you can't say too much solely based off this game. What I'm talking about here is basically generally, um, but they can't go far in the UCL this season like this because even against Madrid had so many chances to score, and Barca really just banks on outscoring teams. And signing Jean Garcia was a big move because he saved Barcelona a lot this season against Villarreal, I think it was, against somebody in the UCL. There's a few, I guess, against Osasuna, I think, against Real Madrid, just against Newcastle. There's so many games John Garcia saved, and it's not really, I guess, fair to him to have him face so many big chances because his defense really doesn't help him. And, it's a personal issue, it's a tactic issue, like I said, but this defense needs some big signings, man. You talk about Schlotterbeck, he is absolutely an imperative signing to make. You need a new right back who's very good, at least defensively. You talk about the signing of Cancelo. Cancelo came in. It wasn't too bad going forward. Of course, defensively, everyone knows Cancelo defensively. He's not really gonna hold it down for you. So the fact I think Flick did mess up taking off Balde for him, he should have been on for Kunde. But the point is that Barca don't have a strong back line, and we're seeing it game by game because when Barca did score in the 70th minute, you can see here, instantly they make it 2-1 in the 71st minute. So it's just a shame, and nothing much more to say about that. We've talked about it a lot. Barca's attack is nuts. and the defense is whack. That's just the story of it. Now we're gonna move into the next part of this video, but I'm like I said, I didn't watch 100% of this game, but I'm not gonna completely buy into the rigged referee. I can't say too much, but here we go with this. Like I said before, new SAOT error when selecting the frame. I'm not sure what SAOT is. I think it's a technology they use in VAR. In Koundé's first contact with the ball, Lamine Yamal had his foot completely planted, his back foot, I'm assuming. However, the VAR chose a frame in which Lamine's foot does not match that position. So this was the selected frame that VAR used for offside, which isn't even offside anyways, I don't think, for that one Lamine goal in the first half to make it 1-0. So this is a frame that VAR chose, I'm pretty sure. And then the frame they should have chosen is this. And this is when Koundé makes the contact, because at this point, the ball is not even touching Koundé's foot, I don't think. So whether it's on purpose, robbery, whether it's a mistake, the fact that something like this is even happening is a disgrace because we have VAR in play. It's not just spontaneous referee making a decision. We have VAR in play in 2026, and these are the mistakes that the referees are making. So that's a shame. And Hansi Flick in the press conference after the game, who, by the way, Flick is not really one to talk about things that are not directly, about the team. He's not one to talk about the grass. He's not one to talk about the referee. He's not one to talk about really externalities. He only wants to talk about his team. After the game, he said the Liga have good referees. Then there's this guy. I do not want to waste more energy speaking on this guy. I was reading some comments before the match, and everyone knows how he is. Everyone knows how he is. Everyone saw what he did tonight. Frankie said he was arrogant, and he was right. These guys were the same ones that did this to us last season, right? In the VAR room too. Good work, he said. The young guy for the game, who was a captain, it's unbelievable that what this referee did to us tonight. I'm the captain. I should be allowed to speak, but no, he looks at me like he's better than I am. This is unbelievable. I can't say anything else. I didn't really notice Gil Manzano acting like this, but I mean, I don't expect De Jong to lie about this. Overall, what I think about this is I don't really like putting blames on referees. In general, like Madrid TV does, which is a joke. But if overall for the course of the game the referee was operating like this, then yeah, you should say something. And of course, leave things like this mistake to this account, I guess, which is pretty reliable to figure it out. But I'm not sure what they're talking about overall. If somebody could explain it in the comments when Flick and De Jong say what this referee did to us tonight. Is it just about the offside call, or what is it about? So is it numerous calls that they're talking about, or just that offside call and how he was acting? So I'm not sure about that, but the point is Barca are now only 1 point ahead of Madrid in La Liga, and there's some work to do there in the team, especially defensively. Really, there's some work to do signing-wise. There's some serious work to do signing-wise in the transfer market, which won't happen. Definitely not this winter, and probably not in the summer. So it is what it is. They have to work with what they got, and let's see if they can find out the right combination to make a serious push for all titles at the end of the season. But for now, they have a UCL game coming up in the week against Slavia Praha away, a game they must win because they're not doing well in the UCL group stage standings. So let's see how they do then.